Hello friends, today I'm going to talk about how you would write your browser automation. In my previous video I showed you how you would set up your WebDriver so you don't have to you know get your WebDriver or defining the path for your Chrome driver. So this time I'm going to go with the very first the real-time test. So there are so many sites that you could use for testing purpose. So I picked one. So those are the demo purpose. You could use them so that you don't end up writing tests for the actual commercial sites. So I picked one on the nobcommerce.com. So it's a demo site. So here what I'm going to do is these are the steps that I'm going to perform. Okay, first thing I need to launch the browser. That is my test case scenario. So I would launch the browser, and then there's a drop down in the top left, so I need to pick up the US dollar from the selector, and then I would click into the computers link, and then I would validate there are three icons, and then I would click into one of the icons from those, and then I validate that I am landing into the proper page as a desktop page. Okay, that is my scenario. We could further leverage, but that's all I'm going to show you today. So let's go with that. Let's get started. So for this I created a brand new package. It's called nobcommerce. So I'm going to just create a new class here, new class. So this would be just um, so I'll just name this as a computer's product test. Okay, this is my class computers product test. So here I'm going to write the first thing as a before. Before I'm going to write here, so public void setup. Okay. Okay, so I have a before setup, and then in my previous video I already showed you how you set up your WebDriver. So please go watch that if you haven't. But as a quick glance, this is what I have set up the driver, so I don't have to instantiate create an instance for the driver, and it is going to launch me the new window if there's none. Okay, that is how I set up in a singleton pattern. So I'm just going to call this out, so which is the main purpose. So if I need any driver, I'll just call out from this class, so I don't define anywhere else. Okay, in my before step, I'm just going to import that as a JUnit. So my purpose is so all I'm printing here the message before I get and further we're gonna go with how you write in the logger. So I'm just going to start that. So my driver dot driver. Okay, my driver dot driver is going to give me the new driver, and okay dot get. So I need to get this site here that I have. So this is my initial site, and I need to import this my driver. So this is going to just launch me this site. So that is just going to be my before part. I need to set up the after part too. Let me get this same as that, and in this case all I need is dot quit. Okay, and I import that after too. Here you go, and there's a dot needed. So all I did here is I set up before and after. So let's write the proper test that I want you to see. Okay, so it is a test public void computer test. Let's say not the computer, but this is a desktop. Okay, let's say this is a desktop test. So I'm going to first get this. So it is already launching the browser. Okay, so first thing here, if you come here, let's go to that site. Now I'm opening that site here, so that's what it goes to. So let's go to the home page. So this is how initially it will be. What I want is I want to select the US dollar. I don't want the euro to be selected, even though US dollar is a default. I still want to select the US dollar, and then whatever it lands to, I need to click here in the computers, and I want to see there are three images here, three icons basically, one for desktop, one for notebook, and one for software. And then I want to click into this one as a desktop, and I want to land here. There are a couple things I need to verify. I have a URL. Now the URL is pointing to desktops, and I need to validate this header. Okay, so let's go to that. Let's start that. First thing first, so I want to do that US dollar first. So to do that, I need to inspect the element. Okay, this is Chrome. You can do this in Firefox. It may be much easier if it's your first time. I love using Chrome, so I would just do this. It's the same thing. So I would right click here anywhere, and then I do inspect. Okay, so once I do inspect, let me put this a little bit. So there's a little arrow thing here. It says select. When you hover there, it says select an element in the page. So just click there. So make sure it's a blue. Then you just point this out, and you see it's highlighted. So now you can go any one of the items, and it is going to point you where that item locator is into that HTML. Okay, for my purpose, I want to click here, so I need to find the identifier. So when I click there, I found select ID. That's what I need. There's a name too, right? So one of these I can use. So I'm going to use ID. And if you watch my previous video, there are a couple, several different ways you can find the elements by. One, you can use by ID. ID name, CSS, link text, right? XPath, right? So these are the things that you would need in order to identify the elements. I'm going to use the ID. So let's do that. So my driver, every time you need to type in the driver, you call this my driver dot. Now you have to get that element, right? So to get the element, you have to call find element by. That is already written in the WebDriver, right? So that's what we want. So I would go find element by B capital by dot. Now because you want it by ID, so I would go ID, and if you go, there are many options you could use. So now you put that inside that, because by dot ID needs a parameter. So that is the string. You have to pass string there. Okay, and make sure whatever ID you get from there in the page, that's what you copy paste. So that's the one. And then so that is it for that part. And what we want is we want to select. So it is a selector. So this is the identifier. Okay, so let's put that as an element. Create a variable, web element. Let's put that as a drop down, right? So what I want next is I want to get this value as a US dollar to be selected. Let's import this web element. You can hover there, web element with the Selenium. Okay, so what do you do next? Next is you have to select that by the text. So you would do new. You could do select is equal to new select, or however you want. I would just do that like this. Now I grab this as a web element. So drop down, that's the element, because select requires the web element, and then dot select by visible text. Okay, and this is a case sensitive, so you have to get exactly how it appears. So that is not how this is, instead you have to get what is in there. Okay, so which is the value here, US dollars. If you go inside select, there's an arrow button, right? So this, click this and you see options. Each one of these options that you see here is a one tag. Okay, US dollar, you see US dollar is here. Okay, and then if you go one more down, which is euro, euro is also option tag, which is a euro. Okay, so all I want is US dollars, so I would double click there and get that value. I'll just copy paste. So that's what I want it to be selected. Okay, and then here I can say first thing is desktop select, and then next thing what I want is, I want to, let's go to my step, I want to click, I did this, step 1 and 2 is done. Now I need to click the computer's link, which is very easy because this is a link text. It is a link text. It's a tag. If you see tag A, that is a link text, and this is a text that is on link text. Okay, not the one before href, but the one followed by the tag. That's what you would pick. So what I would do is browser my driver dot find element by dot link text. I need to need that link text. One more thing you could do here, there's link text where you would require full link text and partial link text. Then you can just send the partial, not everything. And one more thing, you could find elements by the tag name. So these are the ones, anyone you can use. Okay, we'll go through those later. So here, I don't know why this is so slow. Okay, that's my link text, and I need double quotes, dot click. Okay, now I want to click this guy, and then computers. So here, if you see, this now became italic. So my driver dot find element by text. Okay, now let's go to my site and see what it is doing. So what I did here is I selected US dollar as a part of the test. Then I click here, and what I'm verifying is, after I clicked here, I need to validate these three icons, right? So let's hover there. So I do the same thing, blue, and then I went here. I see that is selected. Now I see there are some different options that I can use. Okay, one thing is I want to get whole thing, the title. Okay, that's the attribute I have, a title. So a href, we don't need that. That is just where it's pointing towards. And then title is the title, one of the attribute. There's no class name or nothing, right? Nothing else. We don't want to go with the tag name here because there are so many A's. So we want to go with the title, whatever options we have. So for title, we need to go through something called XPath. So we're gonna write that. Driver, my driver dot find element, and then I did XPath. So by dot XPath, instead of by dot link text, I do by dot XPath. Okay, and then I would do the XPath. I need to give what the XPath is, right? So I do this. See, this should not be the XPath. Okay, yeah, that's right. So I need to get this double quote here. Inside the double quote, I need to put some slash, couple of slash, couple forward slash, and because this lies inside the a tag, right? I need to tell this title, copy this title, which is the a tag, and then give me that, right? So I need to put that's in the a, right? And then @ title equals, and give me that. I can't put double quote here because there's one already in, and then you close that, then click, right? So here's what I want to do. Let me make this bigger. So driver dot find element by XPath. XPaths are a little bit longer. A title equals, this is the title of that icon, dot click, right? So that's the desktop's icon, dot click. I want to click that, but in fact clicking to desktop is line number 4. I want to validate I'm in line number 4, not sorry, that's 5, and then that is 6, right? We haven't done 4 yet. We have to validate there are 3 icons. Okay, so let's do that again. Let's find out what are those icons, what are the common things that we can use. So this is called, let's go one step up, subcategory item. Okay, so desktop is subcategory item, that is the class. We can use class. Let's go to this one and find out, is that the same thing? Subcategory item. So looks like that's what it is for everybody. So let's validate there are 3, right? So let me write that down. So you have to go through, there's some different approach we want to go. So let's write some list. Okay, so list, this is the generic. I believe you would know this by now. Icons, I just write those as icons, create some array list. So here what you do is my driver dot driver, right, dot find elements. So here are 2, we need list. Okay, list. So this second one we're gonna pick. Now by dot class name, that's the attribute we have, and put that the class name, right? And that's all. We're doing nothing here. All we're doing is we're just counting those are there. There are 3 icons, that's what we need. The import for list is util package, so we would get the util. So these icons should now reflect it to 3. Assert equals, you can put that icons. What is actual? Actual should be 3. What is expected? Expected should be 3. Okay, but this is not 3. You would go icons dot size equals 3. So this is double equals 3. Okay, so actual assert equals, first is actual, what is expected, that's what we want. If this is not correct, it will fail right here. Okay, so once we validate that, now we click the desktop. Now let's go to one more step, at the final step. What happens when you click desktop? We need to validate this URL, right? So once that is there, we need to validate that. Assert that right, what is actual? Actual is, you could use assert true also. Okay, you don't need to do this, you will just do true. If you want to do true, you would just pass the boolean. So icons dot size equals 3. So if it is not true, it will just fail right there. It's the same thing. You would go equals or true, it's the same thing. Okay, so here you're comparing with the 2 different attributes. And then what you do here, you are going to assert equals actual expected, right? So what you do, we don't want this to 2, all I do is assert true, right? So my driver dot get current URL dot equals, that's the URL we want. I don't believe we need to get that URL. All I need is this piece, and then that's all I want. So it will validate that URL is there. Okay, so let's run this test. While it is running, I'm going to just let that run and then we'll do next. So it is launching the site. Okay. If you see the yellow banner is there, is the automation. So it launched the browser. So now it is going to select the US dollar, which it did, and it is clicking the computers. Okay, then it went through here and it did validate it. Okay, if it didn't, it would have just failed. Actually, it failed. Let's see what it is there. I believe our assertion isn't correct. Let's click there. That's how it fails if it fails. So it says expected 3 but it was 3. So that was on what line number is it? Okay, that's line number 39. Let's go there. Oh, here. We don't need this. All it is doing is it already validated icon start size is 3, and then this is expected. So this is already supposed to be 3, so this is 3. So we just mistyped it. Okay, let's run that again, and I'm sure it will just go through. It's the same thing. So 39 and 40 we don't have to repeat, we would just use one or the other. And same thing here, it is validating the URL. Okay. Okay, now it seemed to be right, and it is green. So when it fails, it gets red, and when it passes, it gets green. Okay, so that's all this has to cover. So all scenarios we have covered. We did launch the browser, we selected one from the drop down, we clicked the computers, we validated there are 3 icons, we clicked one, and then we validate the URL. So one more thing, because this font looks a little bit bigger than I think it should work. Let's just change this size. Okay, general appearance, colors and fonts, and let's say what is this font here, edit. Oh, that's too big. I just want to stick to 12. I think that will be okay for everybody. That's good. Okay, so this looks much better. So I have this web element because this I could use at one line. So what I did is I defined first the web element variable for this icon, which is the drop down. Okay, and then second one, there's a selector is the one we can use. So if there's any select ID, those are the drop down, those means you have to select. So those are select you can get by the select ID. Okay, and then you select by whatever visible text in the drop down. These are the text that is in the option tag. Okay, and then what you do, driver.find element by link text computer. Then once you find, then go and click. Now I'm getting collection of these icons. I'm using not find element, I'm using find elements. Okay, and I'm getting that by the class name to get the size of all elements that are present, and I'm validating those are equal. So this size should be 3, and it is 3. If it is not, it will just fail here. And these two are the same thing. You could just use one or the other. You could just do this, or you could just take this out, one of the other. And then what do you do? We just find element by the XPath for those title, because there's not any attributes that we could use. So I'm using as a title, and then once I found, I click there, and then I validated I'm in the right URL, right page. There are more things we could validate, but that's all to be covered for now. I'll be posting more videos to cover more, and we would move further from here. Okay, and so I think this has been helpful. Before this, there are before and after. These are the browser launching and quit. Once this test is successful, it is going to close this browser. Okay, I hope this has been very helpful, and this has helped you. We will look forward on more advanced finding elements, attributes in next lecture. Okay, thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe my videos and continue to watching it. Thank you very much.